Most people think of investing as picking the right stock, timing the market perfectly, or getting into that next big thing long before it blows up like Nvidia. But what if I told you real wealth is built by following a very specific sequence? And for most people, they fail because they are playing the very wrong stage of the game at the wrong time. Now, today I want to break down the four stages of investing that actually build wealth according to experts. And more importantly, you have to understand exactly what stage you're at and when you're at that stage. So here's the truth that no one talks about. You don't invest the same way when you're 25 to when you're 45 to when you're 65, and you don't invest the same way when you have $1,000, $5,000, or even $500,000. Wealth is about building progression, not all at once, and these four stages can really create a roadmap for beginners to serious wealth builders that you can understand. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first stage we think about is investing in you. This has nothing to do with stocks. This has nothing to do with money. It starts with you. The stage is about increasing your earning power. When it comes to earning revenue, when it comes to the ability to actually generate income, no investment strategy is ever going to work if you do not have any money and if you're not able to consistently put money and flow money into that in the entirety. When you're looking at this stage of life, this is the time you want to learn those high income skills. You want to focus in really at this video looking at financial literacy in its entirety, bigger picture. It could mean advancement in your career or possibly building a business or progressing in the business that you're in and building discipline and habits when it comes to being wealthy. Now, why does this matter? When it comes to wealth generation, your income is going to be the greatest wealth generating tool by far ever. If you can earn more, you can invest more. It is pretty much that simple. If you invest more, compounding interest can start working for you, and it has something and it can work. If you're investing $1,000, let's say every year, chances are the compounding interest isn't going to be there. You're not going to be seeing the growth. If you can invest $10, $20, $30,000 a year, just imagine how fast that is going to compound. Too many people always skip this stage. They want to be 18 years old. They want to get right into investing, and they're not wondering, and they're really stuck wondering why they're making tiny progression or no progression at all. The truth is, you are the asset. At this stage of life, you are the individual that needs to develop the skills and the abilities to produce income. In stage two, we get into low cost index fund investing. This is the slow and steady. When we start a building strategy of income, financial stability, this is getting into stage two, and this is where the actual investing starts coming in. When we look at stage two, you're looking at low cost index funds. Some of the best choices for broad market exposure, looking at something that tracks the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, something that is going to be good for income generation like the SCHD, and then possibly looking at something like the SPMO that is going to be a momentum fund. Those four itself can make up your portfolio. And honestly, depending on the allocation, this can be your portfolio from 20 years old all the way to 65 years old getting in retirement. The stage isn't exciting. It isn't head turning, but that is the point. Index funds allowing you to own hundreds of companies like the S&P 500. They're really reducing the risk within there, minimizing the fees that they have, and let the market do the work for you over time. You are not going to get rich overnight. Now, that is not the scheme. That is not the play. That is not the investment strategy. Instead of trying to beat the market, you want to be particularly effective in the market itself, and being able to really get on board with those automated contributions can really make that happen. This is where most people will spend the majority of their lives. And for a lot of people, they will never move out of stage two. It's boring. It's consistent. It's the 401k plans, the HSAs. It is the IRAs. This is what quietly builds wealth after decades. No hype, no guessing, just discipline, constant contributions into one of those plans. Now, stage three, once you get that foundation, once you have the index funds kind of down, stage three is where a lot of people really aim to be. And this is where a majority or really real wealth can come from. This is when you start exploring alternative investments. Now, honestly, we have opened it up, and I know President Trump did sign a bill that is going to let us allow alternative investments or alternative assets into 401k plans. Don't know exactly when that's going to go into effect. If your provider is offering something like that, definitely let me know in the comments, because I'd be interested to hear what exactly they're allowing. But we're looking at things like real estate. We're looking at private equity, small business loans, other non-public market opportunities. Now, one thing in that what a lot of people that generate income, one, it's higher risk, possibly less liquidity, higher minimums if you need 10, 15, 20, even $50,000 to get into the investment, but they offer the additional diversification outside of the stock market and in most cases a higher potential return, but like I had said earlier, that does come with a higher risk. But when you start looking at a portfolio, let's say you get to the, half a million, million, maybe two, three, $4 million portfolios. This is the point where you might not want to have 100% of everything invested in the market itself. You might take a 5 or 10% chunk of that, put it into something with the alternative investments, because this stage is not for beginners. This is something that you definitely have to understand. Your basics are all handled. You know, you have index funds. You know, the 401k plan is fully funded. You understand the risk that you're taking with here, and you're not dependent on short term money. For a majority of things, when it comes to private equity, this is a place where you might lock your money up for a considerable amount of time. And when I think of even looking at alternative assets, companies like Fundrise, there is actually a certain amount of time when you start getting into real estate that the money has to be invested. When we look on the other side of really fine art, looking at like masterworks, you're buying into and purchasing a portion of a painting. You have to have it and really carry it for possibly months, even years until that painting is sold. There's a secondary market to sell out, but that's a whole nother video. Now, stage three, this is really the optimization. It is not about survival mode. You have all of your skills, you have those abilities, you have all of those index funds in a nice solid portfolio. And then we get into stage four, which is true ownership and business building. This is where the world's wealthiest people are. When you start thinking about even the people that are billionaires, most of them own companies. Most of them run companies, run very profitable companies. When you start thinking of, the CEOs of major companies, thinking of Nvidia, thinking of Alphabet, looking at, Berkshire Hathaway, thinking of Tesla, it isn't just about investing in these people's companies. You're building a business, you're buying a business, you're possibly looking at owning direct equity in here. Now, what makes this so powerful? Because you own it. When you look at ownership, it gives you control. There's an unlimited upside and there's an income plus equity growth that you could see in here. Now, honestly, when I start thinking about ownership and I do have my own business, it kind of makes me think and it brings me back a little bit, because when I start looking at the business that I'm growing here on YouTube with my gaming channel, with my finance channel, it's pretty interesting when you look at something like YouTube. And I know a lot of people on social media, content creators, things of that nature, there is an unlimited upside where if I'm producing higher quality content, if I'm putting out more content, if it's getting more views, there is literally an unlimited upside to what it could produce. If you have a video that goes out, it goes viral, you could have thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars from one single video. This is the stage where wealth can really accelerate and slingshot it. It could also require a lot more of your time, require a lot more of really your responsibility, your effort, and your risk to get it off the ground. But once you do get a solid footing, once you start getting into like an AdSense program, possibly looking at a couple revenue streams, it's not for everyone. And for a majority of people, it's not even going to be the first move. But historically, true wealth is often created by owners, not just investors in those companies. Now, of course, why does this matter? Why does the stage of life matters? It is the biggest mistake that people do make when we look at this. They compare themselves to investors in a different stage. If you're early 18, 19, 20, even 25, that's the time you need to be building those skills and abilities to generate revenue. Instead of going in and looking at buying private equity, getting into a thing like Masterworks or even looking at Fundrise, it is really different when someone building an income is not going to invest like a millionaire, not going to invest like a billionaire, and someone with a very strong portfolio shouldn't take beginner risks. You're looking to grow your money, and once you've gotten to that stage of building a much bigger portfolio, it really does make a big difference how you invest. And even thinking where a lot of people are throwing their money, for instance, let's say in cryptocurrency, without understanding the risk, without able to mitigate, and not having the money to lose. When you start investing, if you do see a down market, if you lose your money, for majority of people, they will sell out of the market entirely. They got burned the first time that they were investing. They are not going to go back. They do not want to do it. One, they don't understand exactly what they're investing in. And of course, investing stops feeling very confusing when you find the time and effort to really go in, understand the financial literacy, and it makes it start feeling a lot more intentional when it comes to investing. And honestly, for me, in my personal finance journey, looking over the last 20 years being at a financial institution, working with a multitude of investors, it is something that I've really grown to love. Spending 10, 15, 20 minutes and being able to even research topics for YouTube videos that I can share with you guys here on the platform really educates myself. And I hope it educates you as well when we start getting into these topics. So you got to ask yourself, am I building my power and really looking to earn money at this stage of my life? Are you in stage one? Are you considering investing in the market, moving into stage two, dipping your toe into those index funds? Are you ready for massive diversification? Would you look at private markets? Is that really stage two, all completed with the index funds and getting those constant contributions where you can go above and beyond and get that diversification? Or are you really thinking like an owner? Do you want your own company? Wherever you are, that's exactly where you need to be. You just have to understand the different steps or the different stages that really take this into context. Now, if this helped you at all, guys, definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more real world investing guidance, and I'll see you in the next video.